Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully good. Today we are back at the Mechanical House. You guys seem to like it. You've managed to drag me back because some of you wanted an explanation, and I'm happy to oblige with how all of this works. So let's take a look at each piece and I'll explain. Okay, so we'll start with the simplest of things, and that happens to be the chimney. So this is actually very, very basic, but pretty effective. So there's effectively only actually two commands going on here. So basically what we do is we take the furnace and we test for if it's lit or not. That's a very basic command. If it is lit, then what we do is we come over to the chimney and we summon some cloud particles to emit from the chimney. And that's really how it works. Very simple. Next, we'll take a look at the door. Now, some people were a little bit confused on how I got this to work. Others guessed correctly. But in case you're in the dark, this is how we get it to work. So we actually use entities right here, and we use 3. So what we have right here is an armor stand, an invisible shulker, although shulkers don't actually render completely visible. And we also have a falling block, or a falling sand block, as they used to be known. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, we have the armor stand, which acts as the guide, the medium, to move things around smoothly. We have the falling sand, so that we can actually make it look like a block, and we use the shulker, so it has some collision. You can combine all those 3 things together, and it turns into a movable block. The curtains are, again, very, very simple. They're basically just armor stands, like so, and they have banners on their heads. So banners are pretty good because they're quite like a clothy and quite a big, large surface area. So we just combine a couple of these together, move them around a little bit, and they create pretty good curtains. Next, onto the elevator. Now, the elevator actually works in a very, very similar way to the door, but there's a little bit of a difference. So if I just turn this guy on and go into spectator mode and we take a look inside, you can see that there are actually some shulkers in here, sitting inside, lurking. So he's very, very similar to the door. There is a little bit of a difference, actually. There is a little bit of a difference because the thing is that while downwards, going downwards on shulkers is fine. While going downwards on shulkers is fine, going upwards is actually a different story because we're using teleportation. And teleportation doesn't actually affect other entities like the player. So while the shulkers will be pushed forward, it will just kind of ignore and phase through people like me, people like you. So what we actually had to do to solve that was give a little bit of levitation to the player. So we give a level 255 to the player, and basically what this does is it disables gravity for the player. Then we can actually teleport the player up alongside it, and there's no stuttering or anything. I actually made a video on this called Smooth Elevators if you want like a more in-depth explanation how it works, but that's kind of the basics. So the magnetic armor is a little bit different. Obviously these aren't shulkers, they are armor stands. Who'd have guessed it? So the way this works is what we do is we give the armor stands a tiny little bit of motion. Now, obviously, motion moves things like entities, armor stands entities, and what we do is we calculate a little bit of stuff. I say calculate, a 5-year-old could probably do this. So we calculate the distance between where the arm stand is and where the player is. So if we open up F3, this is the minus X direction, this is the minus Z. So basically what we do is we count the blocks. So 1, 2, 3 on the minus X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the minus Z. We give the armor stand that corresponding motion, and then the armor stand will actually zoom to the player's position, at which point we just replace the armor and destroy the armor stand. Pretty simple stuff. So the portal is pretty much the same as the door, although there's a tiny little bit of a difference. So let's just try it out. You'll see that the stone floor retracts, and then the thing comes up. But obviously, because this has to be a solid block, we actually do have to spawn in a structured portal to actually turn it on, because it does have to turn into solid blocks, it does have to have the portal effect, but other than that, it's pretty much the same story as the door. So if you're interested in how the actual movement works, again, it's pretty simple. So all we do is we bring our little guy into the world, and basically what we use is these guys. This right here is an area of effect cloud. Now, he actually only exists for about 1 second. Actually, not about, it's exactly 1 second, so 20 game ticks. And the reason we actually use area effect clouds is because area effect clouds actually have a built-in timer. So they have an age tag called age, and if you set it to say 20, that basically equals 20 game ticks. It survived in the world for 20 game ticks. So what we basically do is we take this repeat command block, and if we turn it on, we take this repeat command block, and basically what this guy does is it executes based off of that area effect cloud, and it moves this guy over here 0.05 blocks. Now 0.05 blocks times 20 is 1, so 1 block, so it moves it 1 block every second. So let's try this out. So we spawn this guy in like so, and as he exists in the world, this guy will move exactly 1 block. Do that again and again. It's a pretty simple mechanism, but very effective. So that's pretty much how it all works. Combine a load of simple stuff together and you get something pretty cool in the end. I do hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, a like is of course always much appreciated. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.